Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. On today's show, we'll have Tracy Danielson, the Roadways manager with the City of Saskatoon, as well as Tom Diebert, a sales associate with Colliers. As always, we'd like to connect with you.
Follow us on Facebook to watch new and past interviews or email us at connectyxe@gmail.com.
Tracy Danielson is the Saskatoon Roadways manager, and we've invited her to give some insight into what actually happened in a normal year and what happened in November with the massive snowstorm that hit us and gave us a good wallop. Tracy, thanks for taking some time out of your schedule today. I'm glad we got a chance today to talk because I know you were very busy about 60 days ago. Uh, Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be in the role you're in today.
Thank you for having me. Um, my name is Tracy Danielson. I work at the City of Saskatoon as their Roadways manager. I've been working with roads for my career as an engineer. I grew up in a small town called Eston, Saskatchewan, and moved to Saskatoon and have called it home since. I first worked with the Provincial Ministry of Highways, designing, building, and maintaining roads until a couple years ago when I joined the City of Saskatoon.
So your move from provincial to city would be interesting unto itself. And when we look at roadway maintenance, it's a massive city on one hand because we do have a large area. How many lane kilometers do you have, or how many? What is the length of the roadways that you're in charge of?
Yeah, at the City of Saskatoon, there's about 4,000 lane kilometers of paved streets.
That is a long way from home, I guess, if you were going in one direction.
Mhm.
So you must have a pretty impressive fleet of service vehicles, if there's graders and trucks, and explain how that works in association with some of the private contractors you call as needed.
Yeah. So the City of Saskatoon has crew members and their own equipment. And then when there is a snowfall greater than 5 centimeters, that triggers a different response. And we have contractors that come and assist us so that we can get our work done faster. So the City of Saskatoon has 16 graders, 10 high-speed front plows, 4 underbelly snow plows, 11 sidewalk plows, and numerous other pieces of equipment such as loaders, trucks, snow blowers.
So that must come with a crew as well to man uh, 3 and 4 different types of shifts throughout the day, never mind the week, and then there's the weekend. Is that something that you call from a pool, or is there a list of city employees that you would call? And in an incident like we had in November, how would that work for staff?
Yeah, so Roadways has about 150 crew members, and they're scheduled to work both day and night shifts. So there is someone working on Saskatoon streets in a major snowstorm 24 hours a day. And then in addition to our city crews, there's numerous contractors. One of the larger ones is contractor graders to help clear streets of snow. So there's another 16 contractor graders, as well as numerous sidewalk plows for clearing pathways and other smaller equipment such as skid steers and trucks.
Maybe walk us through what happened with the November 2020 snowstorm that we had. That was something that we haven't seen for a number of years. We did have some lead up time with the forecast for it, so you would have been prepared. Can you give us a little bit of a timeline of how things went and what you did as you experienced this massive wallop that we had?
Yes, it really was a massive wallop. So, and we did have forewarning. Environment Canada was really great for providing WebEx and giving us opportunities to ask some questions about the forecast. So the snowstorm really started on the Saturday, the November 7th, with some freezing rain and some snow. and kind of took a little pause on Sunday and then really hit hard on Sunday into Monday morning. Total snowfall amounts were around somewhere between 35 and 40 centimeters of snowfall, which is very significant for Saskatoon. In the last 100 years, there's been only a handful of occasions when Saskatoon has had more than 30 centimeters of snowfall in a 24-hour period.
I would say that, in fairness, the city was much smaller with fewer pieces of equipment and technology being what it is today. The response, all things being equal, was pretty impressive when you consider what we had to draw on with the private sector as well as your own fleet. Uh, what were some of the challenges that you faced in that week that followed the storm itself?
Yeah, so there was two major challenges. The snowfall amount was so significant that everything that we normally do in response to a snowstorm was just took that much more effort and time. So in a normal snowstorm, the graders, for example, are maybe pushing 5 to 10 centimeters. In this instance, they were pushing 35 to 40 centimeters. So you can just imagine how much more work that was for them. The other challenge was that layer of freezing rain underneath. So that gave all people trying to travel a lot of challenges. So even if you got through that layer of snow, there was that really horrible layer of ice, and our equipment in many occasions was getting stuck too, and we really needed to keep them moving so that we could get the streets cleared. So yeah, it was a very unusual storm in that it really left nearly all of Saskatoon's streets impassable. And it was very clear that the normal winter storm response of clearing snow on priority streets only was not going to get Saskatoon moving again. So in addition to clearing snow on the priority streets, crews also went to all local streets that aren't normally graded in a snowstorm. And so not only did we have a significant amount of snow, it also meant we had more than double the number of streets to work on.
It's impressive when you consider the lane kilometers that you're managing and the equipment. That all had to go somewhere. So you have a number of snow dumps around the city that people are able to deliver that to. What are some statistics you have from there?
Yeah, so during that first few days, the focus was really on clearing streets of snow. And during street grading, the snow is pushed either to the median into piles or along the parking lanes. And then once all the streets were passable for vehicles, then crews returned and picked up that snow and put it into trucks and hauled it away to the snow management facilities. We have 3 snow management facilities at Saskatoon that are available for city crews as well as private contractors to dump snow at. They're located at Valley Road, Wanuskewin Road, and Central Avenue. At the conclusion of last winter and the one before, there was about 300,000 cubic meters of snow combined at those 3 sites. We took some measurements here in mid-January, and there was over 1.6 million cubic meters. So a lot more snow than has been at those snow dump sites in recent years.
Well, thank you for bringing that into perspective. It is quite alarming, I think, when you look at what we had gone through and what your crews were faced with. So thank you, and a shout out to all the staff that you have doing that. And your what was the response from residents that you had? You would have needed to move vehicles or have people clear the roadways to do your work efficiently. What was your experience with the citizens and their support for you?
Yeah, when Saskatoon crews went and contractor crews went back to the neighborhoods to pick up the snow piles, what we found is that residents were very cooperative with moving their vehicles. And that was so important to make sure that the work could be done as quickly and efficiently as possible. We also got, we really appreciated people's patience while we were undertaking our work. And we even had some great instances where people were bringing out coffee and hot chocolate to our crews. And that was really nice to feel that appreciation while we were working so hard.
Typical prairie hospitality that we're known for here. I'm glad to hear that.
Mhm.
You've had to adapt now with a bang, and I guess if we had a good mess, it was a perfect mess with the ice underneath the snow and all of the volume that you had to deal with. Have operations kind of changed back to normal, if you will, for your crews? Are they doing priority streets, or are they still hauling snow away from some of the residential areas?
Yeah, so the snow has been picked up now from the residential areas, and we're resuming normal winter operations. So, with our normal winter service levels, that includes grading only the priority streets. So, residents who live along other streets, like local streets, crews will only be returning to those streets when there is significant rutting that occurs.
So we had some photos to show as well. So when we look at those, is that something that's a complaint-driven process where the ruts are too deep that they can call for help?
That's right. We have a customer care center staffed 24 hours a day that anyone can call to and let us know if they are seeing a problem.
And what number would they reach if they were seeing some conditions, if not just in front of their homes, but elsewhere in the city? How would they get a hold of your department?
Yes, the number is 306 975 2476.
Perfect. Tracy, thanks so much for all of your help, and good work to you and the crews for doing what they did, continue to do. And thanks and good luck here this coming season.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us, folks. We're coming right back.